Hey, what's up, Ray Boy? This is your boy Chris. Today we're going to be talking about Donald Trump answering a question or he was asked a question by Jimmy Kimmel to whether or not he would debate Bernie Sanders in the near future, and Donald Trump said that he's perfectly willing to debate Bernie Sanders, and Bernie Sanders responded to that response on Twitter, saying that he's very open and he's willing to debate Donald Trump before the California primary, which is great news. So, I think a lot of people who are probably Hillary Clinton supporters are not going to like that because, you know, if Bernie Sanders, because the thing with Bernie Sanders is that from the get go, the reason that he's been losing so much in a lot of states is because of name recognition. A lot of people just don't know him. Hillary Clinton is a household name. Whether you like her or dislike her, I mean, like 55% of the country dislikes her. But it's a lot of people know of her, and that holds weight when it comes time to voting. And Bernie Sanders, he's from a state called Vermont, which is a very small rural state, and not a lot of people knew of him before this primary season. So the fact that he can debate someone like Donald Trump, who's basically been given about $2 to $3 billion in free advertising from the major news media outlets because he's always saying crazy stuff. He's always in the headlines. This is going to be great news for Bernie because a lot of the major news media outlets have pretty much dismissed him from the get go as being like some upstart rabble rouser who's not going to be able to get stuff done. But if you look at his policy choices, he is by far the best candidate who is running right now. So I think that if Bernie Sanders debates Donald Trump, he's going to mop the floor with Donald Trump. It's not even going to be a contest. I think Bernie Sanders would do. It's going to be like if it was basketball, Bernie Sanders would win by like 50 or 60 points. It's not even, it's because Donald Trump, you see him debate the other Republicans. He doesn't have any substance. He attacks people, using like he uses ad hominem attacks. He talks about people's families. He has very generalized views when it comes to policy decisions. And Bernie Sanders, he's able to lay out a substantive, debate, and a substantive plan to a lot of the issues facing our country. Unlike Donald Trump, it's like a 5-year-old saying what he's going to do when he becomes president of the United States. Oh, I want to do this, this, that, and this, and he doesn't really understand the repercussions of what's going to happen when he makes those decisions. But Bernie Sanders, it's just the complete opposite. And also, Donald Trump says that whichever network hosts this debate, he said that he wants that network to donate about $10 million to a woman's charity. Now, the reason for that is because Donald Trump has actually been doing very poorly amongst women voters. I mean, just to put it flat out, he's been saying some very vile stuff towards women, and you can only go so long of using personal attacks towards a specific group until that specific group just doesn't want to vote for you overwhelmingly, and you see that happening with Donald Trump. Now, I think that Bernie Sanders needs this because from the get-go, Hillary Clinton has had that name recognition, unlike Bernie Sanders. And if he is able or Bernie Sanders is able to debate Donald Trump, you're going to see a lot of people, who might have been on the fence between Hillary and Bernie say that, oh, wow, he's someone I can get behind. He's someone that inspires me. And, it's like you can see him debate Hillary, who is basically a flip-flop, and she's sort of like Trump, where she'll read the crowd to what they want. She'll tell the crowd what they want, and and she'll craft whatever she says to match what the people in the audience want. And Bernie Sanders, he doesn't have to craft anything because what he wants is what's best for the American people. So that's why I personally support Bernie Sanders, and I hope you guys do adequate research to, because if you do adequate research, there's only one logical choice to vote when it comes to the three remaining candidates, and that's Bernie Sanders. There's literally, like, almost on every single issue, Bernie Sanders is the best candidate out of the three. I think that if he would run as an independent, I think that he has a very good chance of winning the presidency, because out in this country only 33% of the population are Democrats and about 28% are Republicans. The remaining about 40 to 45% of the country are independents, and he does phenomenal amongst them. So and he's also able to sway a lot of the Republican votes because they don't like Donald Trump whatsoever. So I definitely hope that if Bernie Sanders doesn't get the Democratic Party's nomination, that he highly considers running as an independent. So that's all I gotta say. Thanks for watching, and feel the burn. Peace.